guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I actually got a request from my beautiful realm to do a kind of makeup collection, makeup collection kind of tour and how I organise my makeup. And I thought I haven't done one for a while, so I thought it would be a good time to do an updated video. And I was going to tidy up my makeup before showing you, so I can show you what it looks like. My kind of how I store it, but I thought actually what better to show you how it typically looks on most occasions, which is not particularly neat or tidy, and actually tidy it up with you on camera, and then you can see what I've got in my collection, see how I go about when I tidy up, how I organise it. Yeah, just a fun little chilled updated video. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then please keep on watching. Okay, so I think I'll start with the trolley thing. This I got from Home Sense, not last year, the year before. And it's very handy. I've also got my little elephant hanging off the end as well. So the top one, what I tend to have is my most go-to palettes. Plus I've started putting kind of eye products that I use on a regular basis. So the eyeliner, mascara, eyebrow gel, that's what I tend to keep up here just for kind of easy access. So what I'll do is I'll empty this all out because it needs tidying up anyway, and then we can go through it properly. Well, you should be up there. You should be there. Okay, so the palettes I typically keep up here is my Carnival XL Pro palette. It's kind of my go-to palette when I want something colourful. It's well loved and well battered, as you can see. But that is one that typically goes up here. Then probably the other one is the Cash Beauty Colour Trip palette. In particular the cake liners down here, I use those a lot. So that kind of goes up here if I want to do a bit more colourful looks. Urban Bible, KDMUA. This one also goes up here because it kind of fits quite nicely. I've also got obviously my Beauty Bay Nude Matte palette, which is a relatively new purchase last year, so but I do enjoy it, so that kind of sits in here as well. I will also keep my brow palette because that is something I obviously use almost every day. So that can sit up there. And the other two palettes that I keep up here are the Dosa Colours Francation palette by Desi and Katie, just because it's such a beautiful palette and I love this proper blue here. I kind of love that for like glam party looks, and this is probably like my new version of that almost, but without the blue, and that's the Rose Metals ABH palette, which I really, really love. Super pretty, super, super pretty. I'd highly actually recommend this palette. So those are my go-to palettes. Well, no, there are more go-to palettes. You're probably thinking, where's your Eth Beauty palettes? Well, I'll come to that in a minute because they're actually on display. But so those are my other most used palettes, and they just live in here. And then, like I said, I just keep kind of eye products that I tend to use quite a bit. So I've got my Lily Lola eye primer, it'll just go down here. I've got the black and brown Lily Lola eye pencils. Oh, that's rubbish, that can stay there. Lily Lola Big Lash Mascara, the Kosas Airbrow Gel, and then I also just keep a little sharpener up here as well. So, like I said, my kind of go-to eyeshadow palettes, brow palette, and then a few of the go-to eye makeup tools, mascara, eyeliners, etc. that go here. That is a brush that does not belong there. Okay, so I'll scoot you down. That can come out. I'll scoot you down to the next level. Okay, so on to the next level. This is where I keep more of the base makeup, the blushes, bronzers, highlighters, and as you can see it definitely needs good organise. There's a couple actually cheeky new products in here, and I'll explain them as we go. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to take these little baskets out. I think I just got these, no idea, where I got these to be honest. Let's take this stuff out. Okay, and I'm actually just going to empty these baskets and then we can sort them out as we go. So I typically like to have one for more the base products and then one for blushes, bronzers, highlighters. I don't think it quite all fits in one, so we might have to do a bit of jigging about, but we'll start with the base stuff. Now, after doing the day to night look, I was asked by Marie about doing a powdered version of the base from day to night and kind of tips and tricks for that. So I actually just went online and grabbed a couple of powders, different powders, because I do have the Illamasqua powder, and actually I have got a little bit left of the Hourglass powder, but I wanted to kind of play around and test with loose powder and pressed powder for the video, just to see kind of what works, because I do typically use cream products. I thought I'd do a few kind of testers, have a little play around, see what I think works, and then I can do a video on it. So I did pick up, wherever it's gone, a couple of powders, one of which I've apparently lost already. So I picked up the MUA translucent pressed powder. No idea what this one is like. It was just there, so I thought I'll give it a go. I didn't want to spend too much money, to be honest. And then the Collection pressed powder. This one's in the shade Ivory. I have actually used this one, and this one actually is really quite nice. So yeah, so I picked up a couple of powders for that purpose. But whilst I was there, I decided to try out some new foundations that were a bit more cheaper and affordable, just to kind of have a play, because I don't really test out new base products that often because I like what I like. So I picked up two, the MUA Pro Base Long Wear Matte Finish Foundation, which you may think that sounds quite weird for me because I prefer glowy base and stuff, and I don't really use matte products. I got this in the shade 120, which is probably one shade darker for me, but I actually really like this foundation, and I'm quite surprised by that because, like I said, I don't typically like a matte finish, but I don't find it's too matte. It kind of just gives my skin like a smooth look. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, like I said, I just picked up to try a new foundation and almost create a backup for when my Hint Beauty runs out, because also I have to get that online, just in case I kind of don't pick it up in time. I wanted a backup, and like I said, just to try something a bit different, and I really like this. Like, I think I might even prefer it over Hint Beauty, which is saying something. Still got to test and play with it a bit more, but yeah, that's a little bit of a, probably a bit of a shocker. And then the other one I haven't tried out yet is the Revolution Super Serum Hyaluronic Acid Foundation in F2, which looks a little bit not my right shade, but I thought I'd give it a go. They weren't too expensive, so I thought I'd have a little play, and if I can have like a drugstore alternative as well as my Hint Beauty concealer, then that's quite nice, I thought. So a couple of new little products there. Oh, and a few new concealers at the same time. I got the Pro Base, so basically the concealer version of the MUA, and then for some reason I picked up a stick concealer, but I thought from MUA, I thought it'd be a kind of like a similar texture to Hint Beauty concealer, so I thought again I'll just give them a go. They weren't too expensive, so I thought I'd have a little play. So yeah, those are kind of, that's why I thought I'd introduce those, because you're going to see a few new things in here. But if we stick with the base first, so we'll go in with those two. I'll pop those concealers in as well. Then of course we've got my Hint Beauty Concealer in Fair, which you know I love. As I mentioned, my Illamasqua powder and then the Hourglass Veil powder. There's a little bit left in there, so I'll pop those in there. I don't know why I'm still hanging on to this. This is the Lilo cream concealer. But yeah, for some reason I've still got this and I haven't quite got rid of it, but I probably should at some point. But that can just stay there for now. What other basey things we've got? The Lily Lolo Belly Beige Mineral Concealer. Now this one I do like from Lily Lolo. And it kind of acts as a double, like a powder and a concealer in one. I'll pop those 2 new powders in here as well. I've got the Benecos colour corrector. I don't really use colour corrector much, but I know occasionally for videos like tips and tricks videos, it's always quite handy to have something like this in here, so I can just demonstrate if people did want to use colour correctors. So I kind of like to keep hold of that. Oh, I guess the e.l.f. Hydro Grip or Power Grip Primer. Really like that one, so that can go in there. And I'm also going to put, technically it's a highlighter, but I use it more as like a base product as well, and it's the e.l.f. Halo Glow. That can just chill in there as well. Okay, moving on to the other one. There's not very enough room for everything. I'm going to stack it with blushes, because that's probably what I'm most of, I would say. So if we go with, so I've got the two of the Hourglass blushes, one in Mood Exposure, and these are the ambient lighting ones, and one in Ethereal Glow, really pretty kind of dolly pink. Don't often use them or powders, but I do occasionally, so I like to keep those, because I do quite like them. Coralista has no lid from Lily Lolo. It's probably not very hygienic, but that can stay there. Oh, 100% Pure's blush in Healthy, which I haven't used in a very long time, so maybe I need to kind of use that again. Like I said, I do tend to gravitate towards cream products, so they do get a bit neglected, so maybe I do need to have a little play with those. Powder blushes, but these are more mineral ones, so obviously I've got my Inica Peachy Keen and Lily Lolo's Oh Ooh La La. So they're both kind of peachy pink toned blushes. Again, I haven't used those for a while, so maybe I need to kind of play with them a bit. Do you know what you might find along the way doing this? My other Lily Lolo blusher in Poppy, because still to this day, no idea what that one is, which is a shame because I really love that one. But I've got Peony, which is probably my most used, which is the pinky toned. In there we've got Azalea, slightly more deeper rosy tone, and then Dahlia, which is much more of a neutral tone. And then I would have Poppy, which is a bit more of the peachy coral tone, but who knows? Who knows? Honest Beauty's Coral Peach. I don't know if the blush video's gone up yet, but this is the blush I use to demonstrate kind of the blush placement. I was quite happy I used that one, because again, that's been a while since I had used it. Along with Ritual Delirium, which was probably one of my most used blushes. Now that looks vile. I might just need to do a bit of a clean up on that. Do you know what, I'm going to pop that to one side and probably have a little clean up with that, because that looks a bit grim, if I'm being honest. Oh, one more blush. The e.l.f. blush in Bora Bora Putty Blusher. Again, another kind of baby doll pink colour. Quite fun. And quite a nice, actually, do you know what, that's quite a nice formula for if you're not a big fan of cream, or you're predominantly powders, but you want to kind of get into cream, but don't necessarily want to go super creamy. This is kind of an in-between, because it doesn't go on super creamy. It blends, and then it kind of sets itself. So that's quite a good one to test out if you're not sure about black cream blushes. Okay, so I've got some room in there, so I might go in with highlighters next. So I have the Ether Beauty ones, Pure Diamond Dust and Pink Diamond Dust. Don't often use these, to be honest. I feel like if I do any highlight now, it's with the Halo Glow, but more as a overall glow, or I'll still pinpoint it here, but not as in a very obvious highlight. I don't really do the obvious highlighting anymore, but I'll still keep them because I do quite like them. I've got obviously Rose from Lily Lolo, nice pearly pink. Now this is a very soft highlighter, which is quite nice. And then this one, which I believe Emma gave to me, the Revolution Pro Skin Finish Illuminescence. Which I guess is kind of like it's like a baked highlighter, but I don't know. You could almost use it to set like in certain places to create a bit more of a glowy effect on the skin. So I'll leave that there. So that's sort of the highlighter. So I'll leave that there. The bronzers will just have to slot in around the outside. So again, I've got two of the Hourglass Ambient Lighting bronzers. So I've got one in, oh crikey, that's come off. I want to say Radiant, I think that one's called, and Luminous. I think, which one's, I think Luminous is slightly deeper toned one. Oh no, Radiant is. But they're quite nice actually for the summer because they've got a bit of a shimmer sheen to them. I've got my Sculpt and Glow Gel, which is pretty much out. We've got the Champagne Illuminator as well on there, as well as the Sculpting shade, but that's almost out. Alama Pure, sorry, bronzer in Maracaibo. I haven't used this in ages. This is like a mineral bronzer. It's very, well, the shade I've got for my skin tone is quite light and very neutral, and almost like if you just want a hint of bronze but really nothing heavy, this is this one works perfectly for that. That can go there. And then for cream bronze, I've got obviously Beauty Concealer, but in the shade Deep. Oh, and I've got a few little samples which I haven't really tried out yet. The Glossier Priming Moisturiser. So I can go in there. I'll try that at some point. And then the Ren Clear Skin Perfect Canvas. So yeah, just a little bottle of serum in there. Which again, at some point, I'm sure I will give that a try. Now at the bottom, to be honest, the bottom layer doesn't really need organising because it's just, you're not going to see that. It's just my brushes in pots, so that's kind of organised as it is. So that can be left and done with. Right, I'll pop this over to one way and we can get on to the rest of it. Oh, one thing I did forget was this is a Superdrug's Vitamin C Energising Face Spray. This is quite nice just after you've done your skincare, or even after foundation. Just a couple of squirts. I kind of go quite far back from the face because it's quite a strong mist, but that's quite nice on the skin, and vitamin C is always pretty good. So I will pop that actually in the skin portion just there. But we'll go to the drawers now. I tend to have my other palettes I don't use. I've also got like this little bag. That's got my other more like eyeliners. There's a brow. These are all like the black eyeliners, brown eyeliners. There's the Lily Little Eyebrow in here, just to kind of keep those in a little bag. And actually I'll pop those tweezers in there as well. And then I've also got this one, which is basically the colourful version of eyeliners, mascaras, stuff. So there's quite a bit of the Benecos colourful eyeliners are in here. There's quite a few Colourpop colourful eyeliners, as well as the Colourpop coloured mascaras. And then actually in this drawer is, like I said, the leftover palettes, plus my Lily Lolo loose eyeshadows are in here as well. So I won't pull this all out because actually it's not looking too bad. But we've got kind of at the back the Paulina palette, my Z palettes there. We've got the ABH Riviera palette, which I'm not sure if I want to keep or not yet. I've kind of said that a few times, I think. We've got Your Revolution. I got 3 with an order, but it's quite pretty with the shimmers. Juvia's Place, the Deuce bag. The Deuce palette. That's quite a fun palette. That can go sit back there. Colourpop's Blue Moon, because I love my blues. Colourpop's Wet palette, because mainly for this silver right here, as we know I love it. So I can chill. So I can go aside. I then got the e.l.f. Jeweled palette, my Lily Lolo on the Rocks palette, just here. 2 of the Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow palettes. The one in Uptown Girl, which has my favourite ever kind of shimmer topper. And then Glamour Muse, which I haven't really, to be honest, dug into or played with. I've got the Lovia Matte Mosaic hiding in here. The little e.l.f. Cookies and Cream. The Pretty Naked 2 palette. I got rid of the Pretty Naked 1 just because I didn't think I needed both. So I kept that one. And then I've got gems in here as well. And then down here is all like the Lily Lola eyeshadows. I've got the Bare Face loose eyeshadow here, and these Zoea eyeshadows are hiding down there as well. I mean, it's not the best organised, but that's kind of how it works for me at the moment. This one is all lipsticks, which, to be honest, it doesn't matter how much I organise this, because they all roll. They do get a bit messed up again, but we try and stick all of the lip liners down here. Look how tiny my Benacos one is. If I can even get it open, that is. Well, that's better. There's some light now. Yeah, the Benacos lip liner in brown, tiny. I love this. Benacos also in red. I've got the Lily Lola ones down here. There's some Illamasqua ones. The Charlotte Tilbury ones down here. Kind of a real mix. And I've got my e.l.f. scrub and like a kind of tinted lip product. And then this was a slightly bit more organised. Like my 100% Pure ones down here. We'll stick that Nabla there. Charlotte Tilbury. The Barry and Black lipstick, which tends to come out for Halloween when I'm doing looks like that. And then I did have it, so my kind of like my Lily Lola ones were next. But this is probably not the most practical way of having lipsticks, because obviously they do roll. A couple of the Antipods ones down here. A couple of Benacos. Ritual Defeat in green. Again, more for Halloween looks or editorial looks. What we got here? Oh, 2 of the Living Natures. This one in Electric Coral, which I love. Like the perfect summer shade. I love oranges. And what's the other one? The other one's Pure Passion, so slightly deeper purple brown shade. It's quite fun. And then I've got my Lily Low lip glosses. Obviously Whisper, Peachy Keen, and Clear. And then the Kosas lip oils in Jaws and Jellyfish. No, Fruit Juice. I kind of tend to whip those out more for summertime. And then hiding here is a sample, a Charlotte Tilbury Matte Revolution lipstick sample. Doesn't say what shade this is, but it's a beautiful red shade. So maybe at some point I'll use that. And then there's just like a elephant makeup bag hiding at the back. And then the last bit of makeup, so like I said, you might have thought there were a few bits missing from my collection that you would have known of. But they are hiding up here as part of the display. So I've got all of the E3 Beauty palettes, even the Joshua Tree one. I don't know why, I can't get rid of it, I don't like it, but I also can't get rid of it at the same time. I really love packaging, even though it's a bit filthy. So they just sit up there as like part of the little display that's going on. Then I've also got the Fenty Beauty Matchstick in Chili Mango, which again is another one I haven't worn for a while. Got the Rare Beauty Joys hiding up there. There's another one of the 100% Pure lipsticks hiding up there. And I've got some of the Colourpop lipsticks hiding up there as part of the little display. Okay, so that is my makeup collection. I just thought it'd be a nice way to do an updated video. I really hope you enjoyed. Let me know any future requests down below, and I'll see you all in my next video.